every day you had to look at somebody with your blessing. Every day you had to look at somebody who talked about you and kept you from getting, or thought they were keeping you from getting to your place of destiny. There are many of you that every Sunday you got to sing next to a booger that can't stand you. Every Sunday you go to a church that you're getting irritated. You tired of the Sunday school leader. You tired of the youth leader. You tired of pastor letting that booger that's fooling around with everybody in the church get up and preach to you. You tired of going to the same church where that deacon who want to sing every Sunday, he the one that turned out some of the young boys in the first place, and we wonder why they're walking around because of that deacon. I'm tired of Peninnah being in my face every day, but you must understand that when Peninnah, oh my God, when Peninnah irritates you, it'll get on your nerves, but when it starts getting on your nerves, you have no other place to turn, because I can't talk to other folk about it. They don't understand. Because you ever been through something that nobody really understood? You couldn't talk to mama. You couldn't call 1-800-JENNY. You couldn't call Tyrone. You couldn't reach nobody. And even if they did know, they couldn't help you. And so what you did was you turned and you had a little talk with Jesus. That's what I used to hear the old folks say. I had a little talk with Jesus. I told him all about my troubles. He heard my fainting cry, and he answered by. And when you are desperate, everyone doesn't always understand your desperation.
That's right.
Had irritated her, but in the process of irritation, Hannah moved from seeking after the finite and natural things to seeking after the infinite and holy spiritual things of God. She moved from seeking after just a son to really seeking after the presence of God. She was desperate to hear from God again. She was so desperate for God. Have you ever been in a place in the midnight hour where you didn't care what anybody thought? You didn't care who was around? God, I'm just desperate for you. I need your presence. I need your arms around me. Everything seems like it's dark and cold. My family don't understand. My husband don't understand. Mama don't understand. But God, I really just want to get closer to you. I'm tired of lying. I'm tired of cussing folk out every time I get mad. I'm tired of sleeping with folk that ain't my wife, ain't my husband. God, I want you more than I want the fleshly things. And she began to get so desperate that she was desperate. She wanted God more than she wanted water. She wanted God more than she wanted air to breathe. She prayed and she cried and she prayed and she cried. She went into the temple. She prayed and cried so long until they thought she has to be drunk because she's not even saying anything. Ever been so desperate that you talk to God till no words was able to come out of your mouth? Father, I need you. I can't handle it on my own. I'm so tired of trying to figure it out. I spent all my money. I've talked to everybody that I can. I prayed and I cried, but I feel like there's no answer. God, do you hear me? And she cried and she prayed till no more words came out.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes.
She no longer cared about if she was in the hot choir in the city anymore. She no longer cared about what they're going to call her to be on BET. Was she going to be nominated for a Stellar? She no longer cared about that anymore. She got to the point where, God, I'm desperate to hear from you. Because when God spoke her into existence, you got to understand that God is not confined to time like we are. Before the foundations of the world, God already was. He already is. And so before there was, he is. In the middle of it, he is. And when it's all over, he still is. And so when he saw Hannah before the foundations of the world, I do feel a little bit like preaching. He said Hannah, and he said favor and grace. Hannah, favor, and grace. But remember in verse 5 it said that the Lord shut up her womb. And so he said, Hannah, favor, and grace, barren. And then he said nothing else. He spoke nothing else. He said, God, I know this cannot be the benediction of my life. This cannot be the last. This cannot be the end of the story. You said that favor and grace was on my life, but then you spoke barrenness. I know I wanted another child, but really it's that I want you to speak again. I need you to speak another word that will change my entire mindset, that will change my very being, that will change the essence of my thought process. Is there anybody in here that needed just one word from God? Do you not know that one word can change